forward to. He would come around to the barnyard and talk with the barman and stuff like that. And that was the evolution of Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder moved into higher heights from there on. He also brought judges from England, Professor John Russell, Mr. Northcote, to judge the music festivals, and it was good. We went on to higher stuff there because after hearing Pan playing classical music and realizing that we couldn't read music at that point in time, together realized, well, look, something is up with these tuba, Tasco was the first tuba I went away. As far as that was concerned, they were all the captains of the steam at that time. When Tasco went away, there was a void left in Trinidad. I was 1938, 39. The vice captains had to pick up the void, and until Tasco returned, there was a big gap involved with the band in those days. Those days, road marches used to be like Madeline and stuff like that. Post and another type of helmet, And we hardly had music to play at that time. I remember Kitchener had a set of road march from England, which was Nora. We ended up playing the Happy Wanderer. I love to Wanderer, which was a song, stuff like that. So the band suffered when Casco was abroad. But then things evolved, things turned around, they came back. Kid came back home in 61 to Saturday. I think they said Sparrow brought him home. He came back home with Love in the Cemetery. We rode Mr. Walk, the Mama This Is Man. Next door was Dan Is the Man, then Mama This Is Man, and Who Won't Be a Man, and stuff like that, Calypso started to take a difference, and Sparrow started to get more involved. He was very egocentric, thinking that, he should win every year, robbery with free and stuff like that, But, and also Bleaky, tunes like Maria, Monica, so Cuban had music to play as far as Calypsos were concerned. In those days, the bands that were the top bands at that time, you'd find that Ebonites was a dance band, Silver Stars to some extent, they had eras, these bands had eras, Highlanders was a party band also, a very good party band, and as you keep moving along from Silver Stars, you went into Stars, you had Invaders, you call them the Harps, and the band by the Oval Boys. One of the old bands, they came out of Alexander Ragtime bands, so they were most prominent in Trinidad at that point in time, and we running about in St. James, moving from Trinidad all the way up Chagrit Road. At one time, bands from the west numbered 70 going up Chagrit Road. Old bands like Wonder Half, Del Vikings, these bands, you talk about them, Saigon, Metronome. A lot of people talk about them, but they don't know these bands. Most of these guys left and they went away. Symphonette, Shadow, he went to Toronto. That's Boozy's older brother. Right? The other Del Vikings, that's Smacky and Chap, they opened Crossroads. Right? Crossfire was an original thing.
And that brings me to find out what happened in New York. You came up.
Yeah, I came to New York. I lived for 5 years. I stayed away from Steve, to be exact. And after I went home to Florida, and they told me that they were going to open a phase 2 in New York. So okay, you want to open a phase 2? That's good. But instead of opening a phase 2, when I came back to New York from Florida, they opened Invaders, which is something entirely different. So I went across to the yard, and the yard was kind of empty. There were a few kids. But the guy who came up to assist the bar was a guy by the name of Easton Hines, and he was sitting by playing in Starlist. Easton is one of the foundation members of Starlist. Played with them a long time after he left Invaders, And he said, don't leave me, so I stayed with him. And Invaders came out that year. But actually I stayed with Invaders for 3 years. The next year we went to Panorama.
Which year was this?
I was 8 years ago. So that is 96, right? 95, 96. Alright? Alright. First year they went on the road. We won Best Beaten. We won third in Best Beaten band, And a lot of kids in the band that year. And a small. The next year we went to Panorama, changed the arranger. He's not in anymore. The captain of the band that year we went to Panorama. Yeah, we played basic both this tune was B8.
And this is As Invaders.
As Invaders, we played 6th. The next year we did parade with his name was Lapierre, Earl Lapierre. And the band had problems, a lot of problems, you know. A lot of hearsay, you know, a lot of tugging. Didn't like the idea of having all these problems, you know, with a simple steel band. It was good. First year they came out, they were big. It was like Invaders back home. I saw all the old guys from Invaders in the old days who would come up with Invaders, you know. But there was a problem. So there was a monetary problem and also a problem of seniority in the band and who should lead the band or whatever. So I left Invaders and I said, look, the talk was no St. James man cannot captain a Woodbrook band, even though we live in New York. I said, okay. So I thought about Sun Valley. I said, well, that could be a problem. They say, call the band North Stand. I said, okay, that could be a problem too. They say, call the band Talib. I said, you know? I said, look, you know what? Crossfire. So right here in New York, one of the original captains of Crossfire, his name was Cyril Morgan. Actually, he was very sick at the time. I went to see him in the nursing home. And he said to me, I hear you're going to work on Crossfire. I said, yes, I want to form a band Crossfire. He said, I have my blessings because Crossfire is a band that always is a killing leaders. So there I had it on a platter, you know. But his family was still here, you know. He had his nieces, nephews, and his both. I think 3 of his daughters were here at the time, you know. When he died, told the members, Iman Pascal and Sabiata King, they played at his funeral. So we had already started Crossfire. Crossfire was on the way.
And the year was?
That year?
1998,
yeah.
Okay.
Alright. So in the fall of 99, Crossfire came into prominence.
That's the history of how it started. Okay. And what's been a brief history of the band since then?
Oh well, 2000, we didn't make it. We went on the road for the first time in 2000. Stan gave us a grand boots because it was difficult, you know, getting into the T-band thing. I wasn't really ready for it, you know, but I was ambitious to get a band going, you know. So couldn't get sponsorship, couldn't get help from anybody. Moose didn't come all that here, so they loaned us stands, and we got on the road. There's a little guy by the name Roger Alambi. He did some music for us. Also, we used to call him Joe Beetle, so I remember his second name, because he was his face in the old days and I knew him. And he came to do some music for us, but he was a weird one. Many nights you won't see him and then he would just pop up and stuff like that. So we used Roger, we got on the street, you know, we made an impression, but it wasn't lasting, but we were there, so we were on our way on the street. And the next year, Jeffrey came, you know, came along with us. That year we won Best Between Band. That year, we were going to Panorama that year, but I got into an accident on the Panorama evening. A guy broke the middle and gave me a roadside, so the band didn't go to Panorama, but we were well represented. Yeah, you know, the kids were there, they thought the worst, they were crying and stuff, but I survived to make it to Juve morning, and we won Best Between Band at Juve morning. Tune done by Sabiata King. Give him the kudos for it, even though, you know, I started the tune. He did most of the work on it because I was out with my hands are gone, still gone actually. As I said, they told me, they say, if you see you getting paid from the accident now, wait until 3 years down the road. Trust me, yes, it's true. I can tell anybody, yeah. Anyway, we won on the road that year, so that was a blessing in itself. Next year, we went to Panorama. This is the slip in the Panorama.
2001.
2002. We went to Panorama for the first time. The slip was on. Stayed in the museum. I was supposed to go down. With them. No, I stayed away. Because I gotta realize that the management at the USSA were not genuine as far as bandmen and having the the art department involved, and I knew most of the membership, and I knew these guys, and these guys were brainwashed into something that they weren't ready for. So I pulled away from it. So too did a couple other bands. So we formed 5 or 6 bands that would play museum. Well, we didn't please, but we took part. So because I was involved in Panorama, then next year we went to Panorama also.
And 2004 you made great strides. I mean,
oh well.
So what are your feelings as to where Crossfire has placed this year?
Well, we really placed it. Actually, placed it. Very good placing. I'm proud of my kids. Shows that they are taking their lessons to heart, Some of them I had them and they could even hold sticks, and I nurtured them into a force cerebral. Like I told them, steel band is not a one deal thing, Steel band is a year-round thing. And I should say my kids are great. They have stayed with me right through the year, 365 days. They stay with me every Friday and Saturday night, except when I tell them, look, we're not practicing tonight. And I have real problems that they keep calling, why we're not practicing tonight. And to have kids giving you Friday and Saturday night every year, it's not an easy thing. And it shows that they are interested and they want to learn. I give them, some of the history, some of my history, some of the actual history of Panin himself, the actual foundation members of Crossfire, like Iman Thorpe from Sterling Betancourt, even Drayton, he's still alive. I go to his house every year and drop his t-shirts and stuff, and he's so happy. He said, you bring Crossfire from under the earth back on top of you. When he hear what happened this year, he's going to be a happy guy, man. Yeah, he's going to see wear his t-shirts with pride on the Western Main Road.
So you are happy with the fact that Crossfire is now crossed into the other category without essentially being what you would term a big band.
Yes.
How many members went this year?
We had 42.
Okay. 42 members.
42.
Did well.
But Bean came to us because he was discarded by themselves, because themselves originally had a arranger, they took pride to do the music, and he came across, and Jeff allowed him, and the two of them got together and did a wonderful tune for us, and the kids were very enthusiastic about playing it too. They got into it,
So what do you think was the reason for this huge improvement that the band made that placed them at 5th position this year?
Right through the year, we started to upgrade the music with the band, We started to do solos and most of the music that we did. We did some ballads like Story Point Piano, some of the old time tunes, And the kids were very enthusiastic to play this. So I realized that we were going from one year to the next. So I said, look, if they want to do this now, we could try them at a Panama with all these variations and see how they could make it. And there it was. They did wonderful. I mean, it's absolutely amazing how they did perform. They spent a lot of nights, late nights,
On Juve, you guys also had a fantastic representation from all accounts.
Yeah,
what was that like?
Well,
Juve 2004.
Juve was my thing from the beginning of time, right? And like I tell you, when Sonny wanted the tune, that tune came all out of my head, So when he was putting it together, you say, you like this? How you want this? This is how I want this. I'll tell him exactly what I wanted and stuff like that. I had him since he was a kid, he will be, in the future, future record. Very young, 18, and the other kid. Yeah, but his ideas are great. He goes to Trinidad and plays the Phase 2 every year. Plays the booth, so he is a kid that you have to keep your eye on.
Every year, the Pan fraternity, without doubt, looks forward to Crossfire's launch as the opening of the New York Pan season. Why is this? Everybody thinks it.
And that's my brainchild. That's my brainchild, I always say that Partners should get together before the season begins. This is where you exchange ideas. This is where you tell each other, well, look, this year I won't get you, this year you messed with the kitchen last year, but this year I'm going to do it to you, So the old talk begins there, the rivalry begins from the beginning because I trying to get all them bands together under one roof just to start the masters, they call it, to start the panorama. That was my idea behind the whole thing, getting everybody together under one roof just for the beginning of the season, just so that you're ready now. So if it's war, you're going to sharpen your sword or you clean your pistols. You fix your sticks, and here we go. You tune your pants, here we come, This is the idea behind the whole thing.
And, do you still feel that you need to have a certain very large representation in order to make a statement at the panorama, as you previously did?
I tell you what, this thing about big band and small band. Desperados won panorama with 69 players in 1970. The tune that was marching. Everybody had 125 and 130 members. If the judges really sit together and really judge you on the merit of what you played that night, it shouldn't be a problem. But it seems to have a big band concept as far as that is concerned. And it shouldn't be like that. But if it's like that, my band is going to be a bigger band from here. I mean, there's no two ways about it. I mean, numerous people keep calling me, I'm a Crossfire, you made me crossover, you made me a believer, stuff like that, So a lot of guys who were straight and thing, they want to come back into the fold. I have a lot of kids outside there who started with me too, who taught the art too. And they left, some of them play with Pantonic, some of them say, they're outside there. But they may come back, it depends on how they feel, Kids funny. They like to play with a top band or whatever. The Juve morning thing, I'll tell you what, I like, in the old days, you see theaters coming up Travis Road and everybody pick a branch and they're coming up singing, whatever song, and that has stayed in my mind right through. I don't have to win Juve morning. As long as I see people in my band having a good time. Like I was told, Juve morning, I bring back the old time feeling at Juve. Everybody say, boy, this is it, don't lose this, And that tune is a tune that stayed in my mind. I went to a show. It was in June, I think. I had a show at Lincoln Center. And Calvin Blake played it, and I tell him, I took Sunday to that show too. Yeah. I told Sunday, that is still doing Juve morning. He said, no. I said, yeah. No, I said, you watch my word. That's what we're doing. It took them a little while before it sank in because the phrasing kind of off for them. They are accustomed to the more fast, fast rhythm thing, like smoke, fire brigade, that kind of thing. Afraid, the laid back, But when they see what was happening with the crowd,
they really
got into it, Well, last year we did Obia Wedding too, and that was a hit for the crowd also because they came to me and said, who dig up that tune? But that was my era. That was the era I have been through. I have been through that era there from the '61 coming all the way back. Those are my heroes, running away from home and going to the savannah and stuff like that, we used to run steel bicycle, we used to find them and stuff like that because they came rolling in the savannah and down in the man,
Well, you've moved from that era of hiding, didn't get to play Panther. Now this is where you are in 2004.
Oh, yeah.
And also, you have another innovation of the memorabilia. Crossfire, you've got what hats, cups. Tell us a bit about that, how that idea came about, and where can people get them?
I looked at a lot of bands who have been here for a while, and they don't seem to be doing anything in the off season to make money as such. And everybody depends on gigs, and stuff like that. So I guess the idea just came to me, And due to my niece, she's a very good designer. Because she designed the logo of the band, I just said, well, look, if we could put this stuff on a cup or a cap, put that aside with a cap, because we went to Panorama and we used some straw hats, and the straw hat idea was beaten there. So I wanted to use some Crossfire hats, some hats marked Crossfire. So she said she will go on the internet and check, and she did. She came up with cups and hats and buckles and whatever and thing. And my son is in charge of that area there, you know. But the memorabilia, I want to get it on a, you know, and send my brochures out as far as that's concerned.
So this year was the first time you decided to do that?
Yeah, this year was the first time.
So if people want to get that, how do they go about it?
Well, they could call the house, you know.
And the number?
My number is 718-345-1552, you know, and they can place their orders for the cups and stuff. Actually, I hope this is reaching out to the guys in England also, because there are a lot of Crossfire members in England who are from the old era, like Iman and Sterling.
So that means Crossfire members can call worldwide supporters 1-718-345-1552 for your Crossfire memorabilia. So contact Mark and Douglas.
Well, they should know too that Drapers, who is still alive, you know, gave me his blessing as far as the band is concerned, because Sterling and they were still, Sterling is a captain of Crossfire actually. He played with the Task Force Orchestra. He's one of 4 surviving members of Task Force. The others have all died. Alright, him and Iman. Well, actually, this juvenile boy I was told, boy, Iman should see this from Baby, who is our original Indian person. Baby, I was a kid, I know Baby walking on the video, you know. The dogs, you know, Iman should see this, you know. Because, you know, Iman in England, you ever get in contact with them to bring them home to see this? They will see it, you know. And here we go.
Getting the message out there.
You know? So, there we go.
Another innovation is that you're also reaching out educationally in terms of pen. Talk a bit about that.
Well, on Saturday evenings I have classes for kids, you know. There we plan to teach kids the art form, musical, teach them the musical symbols of pan and stuff, but I don't think it's all about teaching them pan. I want to teach them the history of pan also, because it's all well and good that you learn to play pan, and then you meet people and they ask, well, where pan started, or, you know, who was the first person to play a tune on pan, and why you fall in love with the pan, you know the notes on the pan, but after that, what, you know, stuff like that. People do that. But when I played in Toodle one night, there was this guy, must have been a jazz guitarist or something. He came to Toodle, came to the band. We were playing in a club in Spain, Pembroke Street called Cosmos Club. It's supposed to be a club for white people or whatever. But we got the gig to play there, and he came up to us and he asked us to play a couple of tunes, and he asked what the band would tune, and we were playing this key for him and thing. And them guys, you know, who's this guy? Instead of doing that, let me do the same and show him, because he is daring us to do it.
Yeah.
You know, he's telling you, you're playing an instrument and you don't know about the instrument. Before the night was over, he was playing the band. He was playing the band. For doing what he was doing. He was amazing. Couldn't believe it. You know, it was, 15 black kids, you know. It was kind of small. We did. He bought the rum and Coca-Cola. We did that for him, you know. Quickly, you know. He wanted Chicago. We did that quickly for him also. You know, and he wanted to play along with the band, and I told him, yeah, we in G, don't worry, you know. So, you know, based on that, you know, this type of experiences, you know, made me know exactly that I have to explain to these kids what you're going to deal with when you go out there. There were some people speaking about bandmen playing along with these orchestras in the city and thing, but these places are close cut. They have their own little repertoire. What we plan to do, and if it could be done, is have our own music festival where we play the same tunes that they play. You know, get it together. If we get the right sponsorship, it could be done. And let them know that the violin could play this, you know, the tenor could play it also.
So, the school, the Saturday classes, they're open to any children who...
Yeah, we have children there from the ages of 7 to 18. So if you are interested...
The number to call again is 1-718-345-1552. Okay. So, there's a lot of lineage from Trinidad, and you're here. It's Crossfire. Briefly, do you see Crossfire as more of a New York band or as a Trinidad steel band?
I'll tell you what now. Crossfire is a steel band based in New York. But I always told my kids that I don't want to sound like them bands in New York. I want my sound, the sound of my band, to be like a band in Trinidad. The Trinidad sound is all around. Sometimes there's little music between the bands here when they play, there are things. Even though they bring arrangers from abroad, sometimes the music is missing something. And I always tell my kids I want my band to sound like a band. And Tuesday morning I wrote that this guy came up to me and said, well, listen now, tell me something. Well, you come from Trinidad? Me with my mischievous self, I say, yes. So which part of Trinidad you come? I say, hey, St. James. He say, I win the bet.
Oh, I think that he just wants to be best on the camera.
Yeah? So I said, I think I come. So you went running in also. I said, all right, you will find out either.
I'm finding out now. Which environment did you find harder based on your experience kind of Trinidad as a youth and the hardships there, and then you're now in New York, and sometimes there are other challenges in putting on the band or practicing? And
well, I'll tell you the truth, we have been blessed, and since we have been here, we never had problems with practicing, never had problems with the cops. We have been blessed as far as that is concerned. Because Harry gave us his school to practice, winterized practice, right? And we still practice in one of his schools. We have just moved from one location to the other. We were at Avenue D, and we moved from Avenue D to Snyder and Bedford. Actually, the backyard in Avenue D is where we were for a very long time. Even invaders were there at that point in time. I was told that it was the furthest distance and it's so difficult to come down here and hear you play. This is why we don't come so far. Any excuse. Now, in that area here we have 3 other steel bands practicing. My God, it seems as though I've started a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And we moved from Avenue D and 45th, and we went into Glenwood, which is the Brooklyn Athletic Club in the yard in the back there. A beautiful yard, a big yard, Mr. Harry said he wanted his yard to do. But he had kids. He has a kindergarten, they need to stretch their legs. During the summer months, he has the summer program. I understand. So I went down there and I spoke to the guy. I had influential people working along with me, and we got that here. So that is where our summer practices are held at Glenwood Road. Yeah, large yard, was beautiful. Yeah, and our winter.
Great. Launch the New York season. If you weren't there, you weren't part of the community.
You missed it.
So what is the future of Crossfire? What are the future goals, some of the short-term and long-term goals?
Well, I want my band to participate in a festival, if not here in New York, in Trinidad. Actually, what I want to do, if we get cracking and we do start to get some funds, actually, I want to give scholarships to my kids. My kids are good. Give them the incentive. If you do well, you can get a scholarship at the end of the program. Help you go to school, get your books, get uniforms, whatever you desire to go to school. You give them, a little money and scholarship together. So because my kids are good, trust me. They may be a little giddy-headed at times, but this is where my experience comes.
Luxury of youth.
Luxury of youth. Put them together. Sometimes we don't practice. I just tell them stories. Just a
historical grounding.
Just a great, just again, we go off the path. Every night you come and you play pan, you lose interest. So something like them stories about the old days of the riots and stuff. How women weren't allowed in Stillwater in those days. If you come around China, you were known as a Janet. And these beautiful pants that you guys wear now was called a pedal pusher. You can't wear it. Oh, she's a woman of the night, So I would tell them about these things, A house power was a dirty mouth California in those days. And look at this now, he's the king of the world, You know, just to gain the interest, you know, to get away from playing piano. And then, you know, sometimes they go back to the piano and play till 2 in the morning. I can't get them out of the piano. Time to go home. I want to sleep. 1 minute, just let's finish this, you know, stuff like that. So, I have a great bunch of kids. Wonderful.
Well,
yeah.
One seems so very, very pleased to have that here in our studio.
All right.
A lot of history, and it's really good to hear that you're working along with the kids and that they are learning, they appreciate, and they wish to continue on their own volition. So you can. Congratulations on your achievement this year in town 2004, and also for Juve for being an inspiration to so many people. So we're going to be hearing great things from Crossfire in the years to come.
Yes, I'm working on other things. I'm working on other things. I won't let them go now, you know, because my ideas I keep my ideas to myself. But most time when I give my ideas out, I see them coming back to me.
Well, congratulations once more. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Okay.